Statement, and then we'll go into some questions.
Yeah, I'm excited for next week. Obviously, new game and a new week, and excited to get up to Boise and play this game. They have a really good team, and Coach Avalos has done a great job. They are on a win streak right now, and we're on a slump, and so something's got to give this weekend, and feel good about our team and our guys and the focus. And so this is a rivalry game that we don't know what the future holds, and so this is a game that we're excited to play and an opponent that we're familiar with, and so looking forward to getting that game and being up in Boise. I have a lot of respect for their coaching staff and their team. I know a lot of players on that roster, and I have tons of respect for their fan base. And the energy that they provide for their team. And so it's a unique and fun atmosphere, and looking forward to that game. So take any questions you guys have.
Jared, go ahead.
Kalani, I wanted to ask a little bit about analytics. I know you guys break down a lot of numbers. We as observers and fans, obviously, sometimes we see things and they don't appear to be being affected, but I'm wondering if the numbers back up a lot of the things, whether it's the rush three or running tempo, run plays, things like that. How much do you guys rely on analytics to kind of analyze what the team's doing?
Well, I think that has its role in football and definitely in coaching, but I think there's also a feel, and then there's also the variables to it that probably might be different than what the data, that the research that you're looking at. You know what I mean? So I think you have to be able to look at the research and understand it and see how this can apply to your decision making and the strategy and everything going into it. So I think there's a balance of both. I've known other people that just stick with the data, stick with the research, and I know that people go off of their instincts and their guts. And I like to have all the information and kind of see what a game plan we can provide, and see what decisions we can make accordingly, and then also have a feel for the game too. That's what we try to get done. And nothing's perfect, but what you're trying to do is you're trying to eliminate the time to make the decisions. You're saying, okay, this is what we're going to stick with, and if we do this, these are the options. And so it's always good going into each play, each game, knowing your options.
Jake, go ahead.
Kalani, in your mind after rewatching the film, what keyed the resurgence in your run game last week?
Well, I think the O-line blocking and there are times that running backs have to make somebody miss and break a tackle, and that's part of the game. And so I think for the most part we didn't have a lot of free hitters, meaning that just running backs and quarterbacks trying to make moves to provide more yards, and that means that we're playing assignment sound blocking, and that can always be improved. But you're looking at it, you're seeing some teams that are loading the box and trying to take away the run, and for us to get the run game going even when they're trying to load it up, I think that was a good sign.
Mitch, and then Jared.
Kalani, are the injuries to Chris Brooks and Cody Epps, are they season-ending injuries, or is there hope to get those guys back maybe this week?
Cody Epps, his injury is season-ending. Unfortunate. We're hoping after getting some information back and meeting with the doctors, but that sucks because he's dealt with some injuries in the past, and but he's in high spirits. I spoke with him, and he's excited to keep his role as a leader on this team and to keep working with us. And so I'm excited about his energy and his approach to it. Not excited that we don't get his production on the field. Chris, it's not season ending, and we'll see. It's kind of a day-to-day, week-to-week thing. So even today, I don't know as much as I should. Probably know more later, but it's not that. From what we understand, it's not season ending. Anybody else?
Jared, go ahead.
Yeah.
I know there are a lot of guys on defense too, Kalani, just along the same lines, defensive health situations or things like that. I know you were missing quite a few.
No, it was awful kişi.
Was that?
PK just did.
Oh, sorry. Say that, who asked the? Was it Jared?
I was just piggybacking off of the last question about health. We talked about Cody and Chris, but I was wondering about the defensive side. You had a lot of guys out. Some are out for the season, I know, and wondering how that impacts what you can do on defense.
Yeah, I mean, it's towards the end of the year. We have a bye after this game, so this is 10 weeks straight. We knew that we were going to have to test our depth, and I hate that we have to test it as often as we had to this year. But that's the game. Nobody's feeling sorry for us. We got to keep rolling, and we have some young guys that can step up and make plays and give us some production. So I don't know all the details of all the stuff that you do know in injuries. As far as injuries go, the players are probably released or announced if their injuries are season-ending.
Jake and then Jay.
Kalani, Dana Holgerson, during his press conference earlier today, said that he's expecting the Big 12 schedule for 2023 to be revealed in a few weeks. Have you heard anything on your side of things with regards to when that will be announced?
No, I'm just really focused on Boise State and playing this game this weekend. I mean, there's a lot of things on my mind, and right now that one's not one of them.
Kalani, as you met with the players this morning, what was the general vibe? Are you happy with the guys as far as keeping their spirits high, or just kind of what's the mood going on right now?
Yeah, I mean, I've met with the team completely yet, but I've talked and had plenty of discussions with the players the last few days, and I feel like there's still strong leadership on this team. There's still a sense of positivity and optimism. And then, going into this game, they know this is a rivalry game. So this is a great timing for this game to show up. And we know that we haven't been performing at our best and getting the results that we want, and definitely not getting the results that our fans want as well. So there's definite disappointment. I don't think my attitude is to just bypass the disappointment. But you can be disappointed, but you got to keep working. And that's the focus is we keep working. Try to be as positive as you can, meaning that we have to fix some things and improve still. But hopefully we get that done. We get the results that we're looking for, but that doesn't come with just pouting about it. You got to get to work and put in all the hard work and sacrifice some time in order to get that done. And this is a really good Boise State team. I mean, they're you can see they have an identity on offense. Coach Cutter's done that for them, and I think Andy's done a great job with the defense. They're one of the top defenses in the country, and so this is not an easy game. And when you watch the film, you sit there and you look at it, you're like, okay, it's got every bit of our attention, and we're going to have to play at our best this weekend. It's going to have to be a given for us, and you do that by working hard and by overcoming the feelings of disappointment. You got to get back to work and start sweating it out a little bit.
Kevin and then Mitch.
I know you just went through the injuries, but I wanted to ask specifically about Gunnar Romney. And have you guys considered at all redshirt for him this year? Like, has that been a discussion?
I think that looking at the opportunities, we want to see as many guys as we can play another year if they're not given a full year. So we'll always visit that opportunity to get guys more years to play if we can. It's just been unfortunate. I don't think he's played even close to the games that we had hoped for, and so hopefully we can get him this weekend. That's kind of the hope I have every week for him and for some others.
Kalani, you noted earlier that one of the questions wasn't at the top of your mind, future schedules, but currently in the moment, what if you don't mind sharing, like what are some of the pressing things that are on the forefront of your mind at the moment?
Yeah, getting our guys to play to their potential. That's on me and our coaches, and allowing our leadership to still form. We have some just really great young men in this program, and when you're going through some adversity, it's a great opportunity for us to push guys into leadership roles and you kind of force them to be in a position where they have to lead, and there's no choice. And so I've mentioned before that we're in a position of fight or flight, and I have a bunch of fighters here, and that keeps me that keeps me feeling really good about our program and where we're at. Obviously, the direction we want to be in is getting more wins, but we have great young men in this program, and I'm going to lean on them to lead, and I'm going to give them those opportunities to do some leadership things, and we're seeing it already. I mean, we've got a great camaraderie on this team, and I'm excited to see it play out even on the field.
Patrick, go ahead.
Yeah, you mentioned how you had a great running game the other night, I should say. Do you think that was part of the reason why maybe you didn't have a lot of passing yards? And is that something we can expect going forward?
Well, I just want points on the board. I don't really care how they come, so whatever A-Rod, Fessy, the offensive staff decide to do, I just want points on the board. That's it. I haven't given them any instruction on what to do scheme-wise or what to do with the ball. I want to be innovative, creative, find ways to get our players to play the best they can, and allow Jaron to utilize all his weapons. And then Jaron, you saw him scramble and run a little bit last week. That was really nice, but he can also throw the ball. So I think being able to do it all, I don't care as long as we can get points on the scoreboard. That's the one thing that I care about the most.
We'll take the last question from Jake.
Yeah, Kalani, you mentioned in your open that you talked about Boise being a rival of you guys. You played them every year. You guys have been an independent. Do you have aspirations that you will continue to play this series as often as possible as you guys move into the Big 12?
But I just really like playing this team, and they're a really good team. They seem to bring out the best in us in crucial times, and so I think this is one of those moments again, where I've really enjoyed playing them. I think they have a good brand of football. I like their style. I think I like their coaches. I mentioned I like their fans, and so this is going to be a fun game for us. And I'm not the one that makes the scheduling, but they're a quality opponent, and it's been fun the years that I've been here as a coach to be able to interact with them, with their university, with their fan base, and with their team. And it's been an honor being on the field with them. And I would, if you're asking me, I don't want to see a good thing end. So that's been really fun for us, and I hope they know how much we appreciate them allowing us to be on their schedule, and really looking forward to this game this weekend.
Thanks so much, Kalani.
All right, guys, thank you.
Okay, next up we will have Cliff Barrington, and I'm pretty sure he's here.
I like your Halloween costume. But you don't have one? Oh.
Clark, how's it going?
Good, how are you doing?
Great. We will start with a question from Jared.
I know you guys are moving on from last week, but on the one hand, lots of rushing yards, lots of success moving the ball on the ground. On the other hand, some crucial short yardage gains where you're not able to get it done. How does that balance in your mind as you look at that performance and try and build on it moving forward?
Yeah, lots of positives, lots of negatives. It was good to see the run game get started and going, and but just like you said, we weren't able to pull through on some of those critical downs, and so we need to get better in that aspect.
What does it take to do that in those short yardage situations? Kalani said after the game that's been an area that needed focus. So what do you guys have to do there?
Execution. Being ready for those calls that are going to be called, and then just the mindset that no matter what is called, we're gonna get the first down or score or whatever it needs to be done. So.
Okay, and then Sean.
Hey, Clark, is there a feeling among the team, can you guys win this game Saturday?
Yeah, for sure. I think if you go into it feeling like you're not going to win, what's the point of even playing the game then? So, our mindset is there, on winning the game, and I think it is possible. I know it's possible, so.
Sean, go ahead.
Yeah, Clark, just going back to the run game a little bit, the way that you guys did sort of ride it, obviously, in an unfortunate result against ECU, was that a focus for you guys going into the game? And what in particular do you think what was the biggest thing, I guess, that sort of changed from previous games to kind of fix it up or clean it up?
Yeah, for sure. It was a big focus for us. The past couple of games we haven't had the best run game, and so we were focused on getting that started early and counting on that in the game, and I think it just came with a change of mindset and knowing that, hey, we're gonna go and we're gonna run the ball, and that's gonna be our thing. So,
Jared, go ahead.
Mark, I asked Kalani about analytics and what role they take in the coaching side and making decisions and the numbers. I wanted to get your perspective as a player, veteran, been through the game. How much do you guys pay attention to analytics and trends and things that the numbers guys break down? How much do you look at that and try and build off of those things?
Honestly, not a ton. Not a big numbers guy or analytics guy. I leave that to the coaches and trust them and run whatever is called. So
I don't know how much you've had a chance to look at the team this week, but what do you expect to see? Boise's got a pretty good defense.
Yeah, they bring their best every year, and just like Kalani was talking about, it's a great team, and we got to bring our A game, and we're expecting for it to be a fist fight, right? It's going to be a physical game, and so we gotta bring it. So,
Sean, go ahead.
You've probably been asked this just even privately a bunch, Clark, but I'm just wondering what's kind of the morale like of the team in the locker room? Obviously, with the slide and a tough result last week, how is morale and how's sort of the off-field kind of intensity level, I guess, to get back to work with this team right now?
Yeah, of course the season isn't happening or going the way that we wanted it to, but I think we're doing a good job of just keeping the mindset that next game up, next play, learning from the past, but what's most important is the next game and the next play, and so just trying to keep that type of mindset that there's more to come and keeping our minds there. So
We'll take last question from Jay.
Clark, not trying to ask you to make an excuse, but what effect has not having a bye week until November had on this team?
Honestly, I don't know. I could tell you if we had one, but we haven't had one. So, we're just doing our thing, trying to play the best we can, and go out there every week to play our best. So.
Okay, thanks so much, Clark.
Thanks.
Okay, next will be Keenan Peely. If you have a question for him, you can go ahead and raise your hand. Keenan, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Great. We will start with a question from Jared.
Keenan, obviously the run defense has got to be the biggest concern, not been able to stop the run very efficiently. What is being done to address that? What do you guys have to do to slow other people down in the run game?
Yeah, I think the only thing you can do is try to correct the problems, and that comes with film, that comes with study, and every Monday we get together and go through that, and then you try to recorrect what went wrong.
How surprising has it been for you? You know how good this defense can be. How surprising has it been that you guys haven't been able to kind of stuff people's run games?
Yeah, it's obviously been a little bit disappointing on the defensive end. Maybe having those struggles, but with adversity comes better things, and I think we're going to grow as a defense. We're going to grow as a rush defense and stop the run more often and try to get better each week.
Bench, go ahead.
Keenan, I know there's still football to be played, but with this being your fifth year at BYU, I'm curious, what are your plans after this season?
Not much thoughts right now. I couldn't answer that question as good as I want to, so I was just trying to take it game by game and make sure that game is what I'm focused on, because football is what's most important, and I just want to make sure that every game day is as important as it should be before I start thinking about those, other decisions.
Thanks.
Hey, go ahead.
Keenan, how much discussion from your coaches and or you guys just as players has there been about your guys' inability, feels like, to keep your contain on the outside when players are bouncing runs to the outside for 10-plus yards?
Yeah, it comes a lot with shape of the defense. You really got to be disciplined when it comes to, running backs bouncing and playing around in the backfield. You got to be really disciplined in your shape, and that's all it comes down to is doing your assignment.
Jay, go ahead.
Keenan, the other night, Peeny said something to the effect that nobody imagined that this season would have gone how it's gone. Do you think their expectations were just too high in the beginning, or do you think they matched the talent level that you guys had?
I don't know what expectations others may have, but within the locker room and within the team, our expectations will always be high because it's BYU football, and it's because we work so hard in the off season for these moments, and you got to shoot for the stars. So I wouldn't say it was a bad thing, but it helped us be motivated and try to achieve those goals that we set for ourselves within the locker room.
We'll take the last question from Jared.
Ken, we talked about this before, but I want to get your gauge. What are you looking for this week? What do you need to see as one of the leaders on this team from the boys as you get ready to play at Boise State, another tough game? What do you need to see from them?
We just want to play our best game. We feel like we haven't been able to show that. We haven't been able to show all the work we put in. We haven't been able to execute how we want to. And I just hope that this game can be that week. We're going to come into it with positivity. We're going to come into it with a greater motivation and hope that can be the turnout, that we can show our best.
Thanks so much, Keenan.
Thank you.
Okay, last will be Jaron Hall.
Jaron, I asked Kalani about this, and I've been kind of curious about the impact that analytics and tendencies and and all those numbers that are broken down. I know a lot of guys put a lot of stock into those. I was wondering what you do as a quarterback. How much do you look at those analytics and those numbers to try and improve your game?
Yeah, we talk about it a lot. We talk about it in meetings. We watch film when we game plan, certain down and distance plays. And then obviously on the field, we have a great way of communicating about those things, so I'm aware of what the book is telling us at the time. And so it's been a big part of our offense and really our whole, 3 phases of the game for 3 years now, and all the success that we've had recently. And so I've really taken that upon myself, meetings and talking to coaches to learn about those analytics and how they, can help us.
Is that something you want to see more, less? Is it about right in your opinion? I'm just curious because it's one of those things you can break down everything. So
Yeah.
I'm just wondering how much you like it.
Yeah, just what we're doing. I mean, we go by the book. We do it as it tells us to, because there's been a lot of time spent in researching, the impacts of it, and oftentimes it's gone our way over the last couple of years. There's times it doesn't, but even with numbers, you're still human beings on the field, and you got to go play and you got to make it work. So I'm confident, in the book, and I'm confident when our coaches, make their decisions about, what to do in those situations.
Kevin and then Mitch.
Hey, Jaron, just given the last month, is this the toughest leadership challenge that you've had in your career at BYU, or really just in general?
Not a challenge, opportunity though. Finding ways to keep people positive, keep yourself positive. Really, as a leader, a lot of times you can take stuff on yourself. You can allow a lot of stuff to become burdensome. So for me personally, to stay positive, and then just to find ways to look outward, see the guys that need to be reached out to, see the guys that need more belief in themselves, to kind of strike that belief within them, and in return, it kind of does the same for me. So I want to say it's a challenge for any of our leaders. I'd say it's a great opportunity though for coaches and the leaders and all the players really to rally around each other and not worry about anything going on around us right now, but just focus on each other and just making the most out of the situation that we can.
Have you guys Sorry, Mitch.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Have you guys had any player-led meetings this weekend, on Saturday, or anything like that after the loss?
No meetings yet. Gave guys a day off, recover from the game, spend time with families, watch the film by yourselves, just kind of let it all soak in. But every Monday we meet together often throughout the season as leaders, as players with coaches, kind of all the above. So again, not trying to make too big of a deal out of it. We just got to find something else to spark us. There's no meeting, there's no speech that can get you out of the situation that we're in right now, and we've learned that after a couple weeks. So we just gotta find a way just to get through this.
Jaron, is the prospects or the potential of a bowl game enough to ignite that spark, you think, for the team? Is that enough motivation for this group to get it on track? I
mean, it absolutely can be. We haven't had our meeting yet. We haven't really talked about that. As you wind down and you get closer to the end of the season, that definitely starts to, be in the back of your mind. But for us right now, we still just got to focus on Boise State this up and coming week. But anybody who's played in bowl games, who's been a part of that experience, it's fun. It's a good time. And college football and players, we're lucky enough to have these boards that represent different bowl games to give us another game and to give us those opportunities to go somewhere around the country and have a good time and play football. So I mean, from my standpoint, being to a bowl game before, it's fun, and I would love to be a part of that, and that's always the goal. But right now, we just got to go take care of business at Boise, and that really will take care of all that for us.
And then wanted to ask, is there a common theme that's causing the issues on third or fourth down, especially that you think are fixable moving forward?
We got to be better than the guys across from us. Every game it's a little different situation. When you're not converting third downs, you're not converting fourth downs. It's dependent upon the defense you're playing, the different play calls we have, and there hasn't really been a common theme for how we haven't been able to convert. But every game kind of has its own reasons, whether you're not physical enough, whether we're not completing passes. It's all kind of been different. And so at the end of the day, it just comes down to understanding our responsibility better, having more urgency in those fourth downs, and just straining more to finish and just to will our way to it. We just got to be better.
Jake, go ahead.
Yeah, Jaron, Boise's been one of the, constants on your schedule throughout the independent era for the BYU football program. What have you enjoyed about facing them in your time in Provo?
Yeah, it's always an intense game. There's always history behind it. There's always grit on that field between both teams, and it's always a good game. It's a good atmosphere wherever you play, whether you're in Boise or you're here in Provo. And it's always a challenge every year. You know, it's no different than, you know, playing Utah or even playing Utah State. It's just a very similar feel, you know. So it'll be really fun to play out there in Boise, their stadium. You know, their fans are very passionate. They always come out to support, and so it'll be a good challenge for us.
We'll take last question from Jay.
Jaron, as these injuries mount up for your offensive weapons, now we've just learned Cody Epps is done for the season. You haven't had Gunnar much, and you know the story. Is that just wearing on you? How are you handling that personally? Because these are the guys you rely on to make the offense go.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you always pray for their health. You want them to get back as soon as they can, and you like to have all your weapons out there at the same time. But the nature of football is it's a physical game. Not a lot of teams in the country go a whole season with all their guys on the field at the same time. That's the reality. So you can't really make excuses with that, and you can't let that become a burden for anybody to try to carry more weight. But all you got to do is be the most prepared player you can. You know, do your 1/11th, because at the end of the day, there's 10 other guys on the field. You know, they can make up for what you lose when someone else is hurt. And so I got a lot of confidence in all of our guys, and we've seen it all year. Everybody stepped up at certain points and made plays. So now it's a matter of how can we get everybody that's available to have the best game, you know, of their season at the same time. And I think that's what we've been lacking, and that's something that will really, I think, help us kind of find a spark again and get rolling like we know we can.
Thanks so much, Jaron.
Thank you.
What's little Jada's costume?
She's gonna be a little cow tonight, so we'll be some farmers. So we'll see how that goes.
That sounds like fun.
Oh yes, it will be. Thank you guys. Have a good night.